Good morning, everyone. So for this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to solve for the measures of position for group data. So when we say group data, your data or distribution are arranged into groups or into tables. So to be able to solve for the measure of position for group data, we have to use the formula. So first is the quartile for group data. So, ano yung formula in determining the quartile for group data? So, that is QK equals to LB plus the quantity KN over 4 minus CFB over FQK times I. So, ano-ano ba yung mga ibig sabihin ng mga variables na yan? So, first, QK means the quartile. So, yun yung quartile natin equals to LB. LB is the lower boundary of the quartile class. So, quartile class, kung hinahanap natin is quartile 1, quartile 2, or quartile 3. N is the total frequency. So, kung ilan lahat yung distribution mo. And then, CFB. CFB is the cumulative frequency of the class before the quartile class. So, mamaya, ituturo ko sa inyo kung paano gawin o kuhanin yung CFB na yan. And then, FQI. FQI is the frequency of the quartile class. I is the size of the class interval. And K is the nth quartile, where N is equal to 1, 2, or 3. So, depende yung K kung hinahanap nyo is quartile 1, quartile 2, or quartile 3. Okay, so let's have an example. Let us calculate the quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3 of the mathematics test scores of 50 students. So, kung mapapansin nyo, the distribution are arranged into tables na. So, these are the scores, these are the class intervals, and then these are the frequency of the class intervals. So, yung mga nakakuha ng test score between 46 to 50 ay 4, 41 to 45 is 8, 36 to 40 is 11, 31 to 35 is 9, 26 to 30 is 12, and then 21 to 25 is 6. Now, bago natin makuha yung mga value nitong mga variables na ito, kailangan natin kompletuhin yung table natin. Okay. So, let us complete our table. So, paano natin kukumpletuhin yung table? So, this is the solution. So, ito yung class interval natin kanina. These are the scores. And then, these are the frequency of the scores. Now, para makompleto natin siya, kailangan meron siyang lower boundaries and then the less than cumulative frequency or the CFB. Now, paano natin kukunin yung lower boundaries? So, first, tingnan natin yung class interval natin. So, the lowest class interval is 21 to 25. The lowest score is 21. So, the lower boundary for 21 to 25 is 20.5. Yung 21 na lowest score, binawasan lang siya ng 0.5. Kaya, naging 20.5. Ano yung kasunod doon sa taas doon? Diba, the class interval is 26 to 30. Ang pinakamababa doon sa class interval na yun is 26. So, bawasan nyo lang siya ng 0.5. So, that is 25.5. Makikita nyo yung pattern. Diba, this is 20.5, this is 25.5. The difference is 5. Kasi yung I natin, the class interval is 5. Paano nakuha yung I na class interval? Ito yon, bilangin nyo lang yon, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So, therefore, I is equal to 5. So, ito, dagdagan nyo lang ng 5. So, yung 25.5, ang kasunod niya ay 30.5. Tingnan nyo, this is 31 to 35. The lowest is 31. Bawasan ng 0.5, kaya 30.5. So, ganun din yon. Mag-add lang kayo ng 5 doon, pataas. 30.5 plus 5, 35.5. 35.5 plus 5, 40.5. 40.5 plus 5, 45.5. So, that those are the lower boundaries. Now, the less than commutative frequency, paano natin kukunin? The frequency of the lowest class interval is 6. So, isusulat nyo yung 6 doon sa pinakailalim. Yung 6 na yon isusulat doon. Then, i-add nyo lang to. 6 plus 12, 18. 18 plus 9, 27. 27 plus 11, 38. 38 plus 8, 46. 46 plus 4, 50. Dapat sa pinakataas na yon is kung ilan ang iyong n, which is 50. Now, kompleto na yung ating table. So, kung kompleto na yung ating table, pwede na nating kuhanin yung mga value ng mga variables natin. So, first, ang kukunin natin is the quartile 1 muna. So, kung quartile 1 ang kukunin natin, we have to determine first the class interval of the quartile 1 na hinahanap natin. So, para makuha natin yung class interval, we need to use the formula QK is equal to KN over 4. So, ang K natin dito is 1. Kasi quartile 1 ang kukunin natin. So, Q1 is equal to 1. Ano yung N natin? N is equal to 50 over 4. And then, 1 times 50 is 50 over 4. 50 divided by 4 is equal to 12.5. So, ibig sabihin, quartile 1 is contained in the 12.5 score. So, yung 12.5 na yon, hahanapin natin dito sa less than cumulative frequency na to. Nasa ang class interval, naroon yung 12.5 score. Kasi ibig sabihin nito ay 12.5 score. That means quartile 1 belongs to the 12.5 score. So, dito sa mga less than cumulative frequency na ito, saan natin makikita yung 12.5 score? So, yung 12.5 score is contained here between the 26 to 30 class interval. Kasi, yung 7th to 18th score ay narito sa class interval na to. Diba? This is 18. So, ibig sabihin ng 18 na yon, that is 7th to 18th score. So, yung 12.5 score na ito, the 12.5 score na ito can be found in the class interval of 26 to 30. Itong class interval na 26 to 30 kasi yung 12.5 score na yon, nandito siya sa 18 na yon. Kasi yung 18 na yon, ibig sabihin, that is from 7th to 18th score. Kasi ito 6. Yung nasa ilalim ng 18 ay 6, di ba? Ano ba yung kasunod ng 6? 7th. So, yung 18 na yon, that is 7th to 18th score. And yung 7th to 18th score, nandoon yung 12 to 5th score na nauna nating na-compute. So, ang class interval natin for quartile 1 is yung 26 to 30. Now, pwede na nating kumpletuhin yung mga variables natin. Ano-ano yung mga variables natin? The lower boundary, yung N, the total frequency, the CFB, the cumulative frequency of the class before the quartile class, and then we have the FQK, or the frequency of the quartile class, the I, and then the K. So, una, the lower boundary. So, ito yung ating class interval. Doon tayo maghahanap. Ano yung lower boundary nung quartile 1? Nung 26 to 30. So, the lower boundary is 25.5. And then, ano yung N natin? N is 50. And then, what is the CFB? The CFB is the cumulative frequency before the quartile class. Diba? Ito yung mga cumulative frequency. These are the cumulative frequency. Ano yung cumulative frequency before the quartile class? This is the quartile class. Ano yung nasa ilalim niya? 6. So, CFB is 6. Kasi, before the quartile class. Kung ito yung quartile class niya, ito yung quartile class natin, ano yung bago 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 mag-cumulative frequency na 18. So, that is 6. Kaya nga, CFB, less the cumulative frequency before the quartile class. And then, FQK is the frequency of the quartile class. Ano yung actual frequency nung Q1? The actual frequency is 12. And then, yung I natin is 5, and then yung K natin is 1. So, pag kumpleto na siya, pwede na nating isolve. So, to solve, let us use the formula. So, QK, Q1. So, that is Q1 equals to LB plus the quantity Kn over 4 minus CFB over FQK times I. So, ano yung lower boundary natin? The lower boundary is 25.5 plus yung Kn over 4, ito yon yung na-solve natin kanina na 12.5. 12.5 minus yung CFB, this is the CFB 6, minus FQK, yung the actual frequency, so that is 12, times I is equal to 5. Then, 25.5 plus 12.5 minus 6 over 12. Gamit na tayo ng calculator dyan. So, that is 12.5 minus 6 is equal to 6.5 divided by 12. So, that is 0.541.66667. I-multiply na natin siya sa 5 times 5. Then, i-add na natin sa 25.5. So, the answer is 20.8333 or round off natin to 2 decimal place. That is 28.21. So, therefore, quartile 1 is equal to 28.21. So, ito, pag inisa-isa natin, 12.5 minus 6 ay 6.5 over 12 times 5. So, that will be 25.5 over 5 plus 6.5 divide 12 times 5, 2.71. 25.5 plus 2.71, 28.21. So, round off to 2 decimal place. So, therefore, the quartile 1 of these test scores of the 50 students is 28.21. Now, how about quartile 2? So, for quartile 2 naman, Q2, so, ang K natin dito ay 2. So, for quartile 2, ang gagamitin pa rin natin is Kn over 4, di ba? So, ang K natin ay 2 times ang N natin ay 50 over 4. So, 2 times 50, 100 divided by 4. So, ang Q2 natin ay 25. So, kung ang Q2 natin ay 25, so this is the 25th score. So, 25th score, hanapin natin dito kung alin yung nagko-contain ng 25th score. So, kung itong class interval na ito, it contains the 7th to 18th score, ibig sabihin ito, di ba ito 18 ang nasa ilalim. So, this one, yung 27 na yon, that contains the 19th to 27th score. So, ibig sabihin, yung 25th score na ito ay nandito sa 19th to 27th score. So, therefore, this is our quartile 2 class interval. So, ito yung gagamitin nating class interval for quartile 2. Kasi, the 25th score na nakuha natin kanina ay nandito siya sa 19th to 27th score. So, dito siya. So, itong class interval na ito ang gagamitin natin. So, ito yung Q1. So, for Q2, dito naman tayo sa kabila na ito. So, So, for Q2, ano yung lower boundary ng quartile 2 natin? So, the lower boundary is 30.5. Then, N is 50 pa rin. Now, how about the cumulative frequency before the quartile class? So, if the quartile class, the cumulative frequency of the quartile class is 27, yung nasa ilalim niya is 18. So, that is our CFB. Then, FQK, the actual frequency of the quartile class is 9. Then, I is still 5. Pero, ang K na natin ay 2. Now, solve na natin siya. So, ito tayo sa pangalawang papel. Okay, so Q2 naman tayo. So, quartile 2 is equal to, so the lower boundary plus Kn over 4 minus CFB all over FQK times I. So, the lower boundary is 30.5 plus, so yung Kn over 4, yung nasolve natin kanina na 25. Minus CFB, the cumulative frequency before the actual frequency. So, that is 18 over FQK, the actual frequency, 9 times I, which is 5. Okay. So, this is 30.5 plus, so, pwede na nating idire-diretso uli ang pagko-compute. So, 25 minus 18 divided by 9 times 5. So, that is 3.89, round off to 2 decimal place, plus 30.5. So, that is 34.39. So, therefore, quartile 2 is 34.39. Okay? Now, how about quartile 3? So, sa quartile 3 naman, so, dito tayo sa kabila. Quartile 3. So, ganun din. Kunin natin yung class interval muna. So, pwede nandito. So, Q3, ang K natin ay 3. Okay. So, ito uli yung gagamitin natin. QK equals to Kn over 4. So, this is quartile 3. Ang K natin ay 3. Ang N natin ay 50 over 4. 3 times 50 is 150 over 4. 150 divided by 4 is 37.5. So, this is the 37.5 score. So, nasaan yung 37.5 score? So, this one, itong 38 na ito, ibig sabihin yan, that is from 28 to 38 score. So, yung 37.5, nandito siya between 28 to 38 score. So, this is our quartile 3 class interval. So, yun yung ating gagamitin na class interval for quartile 3. So, kunin natin yung mga value ng variables. Ano yung lower boundary niya? The lower boundary is 35.5. N is still 50. Ano yung less than cumulative frequency? So, yung less than cumulative frequency natin, yung nasa ilalim ng 38, that is 27. Then, what is the actual frequency? The actual frequency is 11. And then, ang I natin ay 5, and then yung K natin ay 3. Now, let us solve for quartile 3. So, for quartile 3, so same formula pa rin. So, lower boundary plus Kn over 4 minus less than cumulative frequency over the actual frequency times the class interval. So, the lower boundary is 35.5 plus yung Kn over 4, yung na-solve natin kanina na 37.5. And then the less than cumulative frequency is 27. And then, ang ating actual frequency is 11 times ang I natin is 5. Then 35.5 plus, so solve natin to, 37.5. 37.5 minus 27 equals, divided by 11 times 5. So that is 4.77. Round off to 2 decimal place. Then 35.5 plus 4.77, that is 40.27. So Q3 natin is 40.27. So therefore, ang ating mga nakuha na mga cumulative na mga quartile for the group data, nasan yung una? Okay, so what can we conclude doon sa mga quartiles na nakuha natin? So for quartile 1, ang nakuha natin is 28.21. So as we all know, quartile 1 or the first quartile is the 25% of the distribution. So therefore, 25% of the students have a score less than or equal to 28.21. So for quartile 2 or second quartile, so second quartile is the 50% of the distribution. So therefore, 50% of the students have a score less than or equal to 34.39. And for quartile 3, that is 75% of the distribution, we can conclude that 75% of the students have a score less than or equal to 40.27. Okay? So if you have any question or any suggestion, any comments, please write it on the comment box. And if you like the video, please click like and subscribe. Thank you.